Yes, we're back. Today we're talking about some of the top 10 best must-play Switch games, as well as Switch 2 games. And some of these are rare and hidden gems. My name's Ghostlink. If you guys are new, hit that subscribe button. I post videos like this every single week. With that being said, feel free to sit back, relax, and let's dive into it. The first game we're going to talk about today is The Missing. I feel like nobody knows about this game. It's really good. So you play as this girl who goes camping with her friend, and all of a sudden your friend goes missing, and when you go out to try and find her, you get struck by lightning. Although you don't die, you acquire the power to regenerate, so if you do die, you can regenerate. It's really cool. This game is an adventure platformer, but it definitely has a few horror elements to it. And a pretty fun fact, some of the devs that made Deadly Premonition, which is an amazing horror game, worked on this game as well. The gameplay is really fun, the music's pretty chill, and I will say the story itself is definitely heartfelt. There's a lot of deep moments, and the game isn't too long itself. It's about 4 to 5 hours long, but it's an awesome journey. And I will say, the deaths in this game are pretty insane. It can get pretty gruesome at times. So, if you're into adventure platform games with a horror element, I highly recommend checking it out. Number 2 is a game that I have digitally, but there is a physical version, and that game is Metro Redux. Man, this game is so good. This is another one that I feel like nobody really talks about. So this game actually comes with 2 different games on the cartridge itself, the first one and the second one. So you're basically playing as a survivor underground in Russia, trying to survive and reclaim your city. And because of all the radiation, there's tons of crazy mutants roaming around. It's a first-person shooter, and in my opinion, it has many similarities to games like Dead Space. Although instead of being in space, you're stuck in Russia, and everything's run down, rustic. It's really cool. And this game definitely has a horror aspect to it. It's definitely creepy at times. And to be honest, on the Switch, it runs really good. And of course, runs better on the Switch too. But the environments, the graphics, the textures, this is a great port. Really good. It's very immersive as well. The story itself is pretty in-depth. So, if you guys are into first-person shooters with a horror element that's similar to Dead Space, but more rustic, this one's for you. I definitely recommend checking it out. Number 3 is Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic. Yeah! Dude, this game is so fun. It never gets old. So of course it takes place in the Star Wars universe, although it follows its own story. And I gotta admit, the gameplay is pretty darn solid, especially for it being a Switch port. Now when it comes to playing on the Switch too, the graphics are really enhanced, but the load times are faster. And man, the gameplay is so fun. You can choose what kind of character you want to play as, different fighting styles, and you can also upgrade your weapons over time. Now I will say, the only thing I don't like about this game is the UI. It's not the best, but when you get used to it, you're good to go. Takes you about 20-30 minutes in my opinion. Now a Star Wars game that I really wish they'd bring back is Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. That game on PS2, man, that was so sick. Especially playing multiplayer with your friends, like dueling, that was so fun. The campaign was amazing as well too. Anyways, if you're a fan of Star Wars, or even sci-fi games in general, you guys have to add this one to your list. So go play it, because you're gonna love it. Number 4 is another game that I have digitally, but it's also available in physical format, and that game is Othercide. Now this game is a true hidden gem and definitely underrated. So this is a roguelike tactics game, and the premise of the story is you're trying to save reality. Yes, as in reality itself, not just the world. It's a crazy concept. Anyways, the art style, the music, the gameplay, everything about this game in my opinion is a 10 out of 10. And what's really cool about this game is that the gameplay is actually really in depth. For it being a tactics game, it's very unique. It's just one of those games you gotta play for yourself to know what I'm talking about. And a really cool thing about this game are the cutscenes. They're absolutely incredible. The CGI, the music, like I said, this game is a total 10 out of 10 in my opinion. And the black, white, and red contrast looks really good. Now I will say, it's not too heavy on the story, but the gameplay and progression is what keeps you hooked. So, if you're into roguelike tactics games, you guys have to play this one. This is another one that I highly recommend adding to your list. Number 5 is a game that I talked about in one of my shorts recently, but I haven't actually talked about it for quite a while, and that game is Tevi. Now this one is another great hidden gem, especially if you're into Metroidvanias. So in this game you play as a rabbit girl named Tevi, who's trying to solve a mystery in her world, as well as help with her father's research. You meet tons of different characters and explore many different levels, and the combat in this game, man, it's so fun. It's very fluid, very smooth, very satisfying. And not only is this game a Metroidvania, but it also has bullet hell elements to it. And what's pretty cool too is that if you're not too good at these games, there are difficulty settings. So if it's too hard, just play on easy mode, and you'll have a great time. Although if you like a good challenge, it can definitely be challenging. And the soundtrack in this game is actually really fun. The story, all the different characters, Tevi herself, they're all charming. Now even though the game looks the way it does, it's actually pretty badass. Now there is another game called Rabby Ribby, which I can't remember if it's the first game or the second game, but it's pretty much a sequel or a prequel to this game. That's another one that I definitely recommend checking out as well too. I'll make sure to talk about that one in another video. Anyways, if you guys are into Metroidvania games with incredible gameplay, really cool characters, and awesome music, you guys are gonna love this one. I highly recommend adding it to your list. Number 6 is yet another game that I have digitally, but there is a physical version. And yes, even though I am a physical collector, when there's a good digital sale, I can't help myself. A $60 game for $5? Why not? Anyways, that game is Dying Light, the Platinum Edition. Dude, if you guys have never heard of Dying Light and you're a horror fan, you're really missing out. This is an open world zombie game. It features parkour, really fast combat, weapon upgrades, and a very immersive environment. During the daytime, you'll be scavenging, looking for tools, weapon upgrades, checking out your surroundings, and at night, that's when they come out, and it's pretty terrifying. So to be honest, this game kind of reminds me of Dead Island, but in my opinion, this one's better. I played Dead Island 2 and I just couldn't get into it, but this game is amazing. And yes, it runs great on both the Switch and the Switch 2. Now of course they have to dumb down the graphics a little bit, but the gameplay is solid. So if you're into open world zombie games, with amazing combat, and a very immersive environment, this one's for you. So go play it, because you're gonna love it. Number 7 is a game I feel like everyone knows about, but also doesn't know about, and that game is Astral Chain. Now this, in my opinion, is one of the best action games for the Switch, and on the Switch 2, it runs that much better. It didn't really improve graphics wise, but it's definitely smoother. So in this game you play as a futuristic cop, who's trying to protect his city from alien creatures. And man, the combat in this game is insane. It's very fast paced and pretty addictive as well. And what's pretty cool about this game is that it's not just an action game. There's detective work and mysteries you're trying to solve. So if you blend sci-fi with action and mystery, you get Astral Chain. So if you're into games like this is a must play that I highly recommend adding to your list. Number 8 is yet another digital game that I have, but there is a physical version, of course. And to be honest, I gotta admit, I'm a collector, but like I said, I love digital sales. So I've actually been thinking to myself how cool it would be to actually make a video dedicated to eShop sales. I can totally make videos on that as well. Just let me know in the comments below. Anyways, game number 8 is Dragon's Dogma, Dark Arisen. Man, this game is awesome. If you guys are into open world RPGs and haven't played this game yet, you have to play it. The world, the combat, the environments, all the different characters, the customization, weapon upgrades, it's freaking sick. Now I will say, this game isn't the best graphics wise, but the gameplay is definitely there, and it definitely runs better on the Switch 2, which I do recommend. On the Switch 1 you'll have textures cutting in and out as you approach them or move further away, but on the Switch 2, it gets rid of that, mainly because the Switch 2's faster processor. Now it doesn't improve graphics wise on the Switch 2, but the performance is definitely there, and of course, you can play whatever class you want to play as well. To be honest, in my opinion, the game kind of shares similarities to Skyrim as well as Monster Hunter. So if you're a fan of those two games, you're definitely gonna love this one. This is another amazing game that I definitely recommend checking out. Number 9 is World Ends Club. This is another great hidden gem. I had no idea about this game until my buddy Upper Nimbus talked about it in one of his videos. He's also another YouTuber. So this game's definitely like Danganronpa, where a group of kids get captured and forced to play in an escape game. Now even though it has many similarities to Danganronpa, it's definitely unique in its own ways. Every character is well written, and it definitely has its own style. It kind of reminds me of like those old school Saturday morning cartoons, like Codename Kids Next Door, shows like that. It's kind of hard to explain, but when you play the game for yourself, it really takes you back. And the game does make side-scrolling puzzles with visual novel storytelling. The gameplay itself is mainly focused on friendship, mystery, and emotional twists. It gets pretty crazy. So yeah, like I said, if you're into games like Danganronpa, you guys have to play this one. Another one that I definitely recommend checking out. And last but not least is a game that everybody knows about, although on the Switch 2, it's just that much better, and I gotta talk about it, and that game is Zelda, Skyward Sword. Now with it being the 40th anniversary of Zelda, I just want to talk about it, and I feel like this game in particular never really gets talked about, which is a real shame because it's actually really good. Now on the Wii, I didn't really care too much for it. The controls were crap, and it just didn't run that good. Although this game on the Switch, especially on the Switch 2, man, it's so much better. The gameplay is way smoother, it looks way better, and the controls are spot on. Now don't get me wrong, as much as I love Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, there's just something so magical and fun about playing a more linear Zelda game, and this being the latest one, it still holds up, and it's still great. Now of course you have games like Echoes of Wisdom and Link's Awakening, but when it comes to this style, in my opinion, just can't be beat. And man, I cannot wait. If it's actually true, if the rumors are actually real, basically, the Ocarina of Time remake, dude, that's gonna be crazy. Although to be honest, I'd much rather have an HD version of Twilight Princess first, and then the Ocarina of Time remake, only because I feel like the HD version would be a lot faster to make than an actual remake itself. Anyways, if you haven't played Skyward Sword yet, or haven't done so in a while, and you have a Switch too, dude, go play it. Trust me, you're gonna love it. Alright, well there you have it. There's some more games that I definitely recommend checking out for your Switch and your Switch 2. If you got some more recommendations, please let me know in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please subscribe. If you guys want to see more videos like this, check out this playlist right here. With that being said, hope you guys have an amazing day, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Happy gaming, God bless, and Jesus loves you. Peace.